Hello, everyone. We are back from a nearly 2-year hiatus.
It's been over 2 years.
It's been over 2 years.
June 23rd was our last upload, and it is August 9th.
So, just, that's my fault. Like, that is entirely my fault. But there were, like, extenuating circumstances. There were episodes that got recorded, and they were really shitty, so I didn't upload them. And then the Wi-Fi at my house got cut down, and it was just really, really hard to upload anything. It literally only recently got put back on, which is one of the main reasons why this episode is being recorded. But just sorry for that. I'm supposed to do this at the start of the podcast for Case Castellano. It's a dad joke. I had this bit going with him where every single day I would see him, I would tell him one dad joke. So this is a joke about this girl that only eats plants. You probably never heard of her before. Okay, that's all that's gonna be. That's just a dad joke for him. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about, I avoided making this mental health video on my main channel just because, to be honest, it's like really embarrassing and it's really hard to talk about because it was just one of the worst periods of time in my life, and there was a lot of really fucked up shit that I did that I'm not proud of. Nothing like, I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't, somehow I don't even think I managed to damage any of my relationships that I really care about. Because that's not what it was like for me. For me, it was, so first and foremost, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. I don't know any of the technical terms for what I'm about to talk about. I only know based off of what little research I've done. And I want to put that as the disclaimer, because I don't want anyone to hear anything I'm talking about and being like, oh, that's what that is, and I don't really know. It's just an educated guess. So basically, my understanding of it is that I had some kind of psychotic break, psychosis, manic episode, but to describe what it felt like, it was just basically this like, it felt like there was this like grandiose importance to everything that I did. It felt like the world was on my back. It felt like, I was Atlas, and like everything I was doing was like affecting the world in a major way. And it is very like, you might hear me say that and think that there's a bit of narcissism in there, and maybe there is, but there was also a very high level of paranoia and constant danger that I felt, because so there were like 3 main factors that I contribute to that happening. One is just, I've been dealing with suicidal thoughts since I was like 8 years old. Like, there's literally not a time in my life where I can remember and think back to where I wasn't having some sort of like mental health difficulties. So you have someone who at baseline was like very high anxiety, very like, prone to suicidal thoughts and depression. And I think in a minor way, like, I wouldn't say I had manic depression, but I think back to when I was 15, and I would get up at 3:30 a.m. to run a mile, and I was taking like 2,000 milligrams of caffeine every single day. And it was kind of similar to the Hawaii thing, except not to the same extent. Like, in psychosis, one of the main things that is indicative of it is this struggle to form thoughts logically. Like, you have this really incoherent thinking pattern, you're forgetting words very easily. To you make a lot of sense because, you're in your own world, but to an outsider, it's just like, if I could talk to myself now, then, I would literally just tell myself, like, calm the fuck down. Like, You know, there's not this gun pointed to your head. I remember I was so paranoid that I would be in my room and I was really, really scared of getting sniped. I would go, I would lay down on the floor, and I would, you have the bed there, and I'm like on the side of it, and I'm putting my head like specifically in a position where I'm like, it would be the hardest right here to snipe me. So there was just like a really advanced paranoia, very low brain functions, just nothing, everything made sense and nothing made sense. I felt like I had to figure the world out, and it was my obligation to like set things right. I refer to it as kind of like a hippie psychosis. There was a lot of euphoria. Like, you wouldn't think of someone who's describing a mental health episode as saying that it felt good, but it kind of did. There was this like constant high, partially because I was constantly high. So that was the second factor. So along with me just at baseline having like mental health struggles, I'm just gonna check it's still recorded.
Wait, quick question. Glasses or no glasses? Glasses, no glasses.
I would say none.
None?
I don't think it makes a big difference. If you want to put them on, then put them on.
Yeah. Get that out.
What was that? The second thing. So, yeah, there was like a combination of alcohol and weed and not shrooms. I think I only did shrooms like one time when I was out there. But that was definitely contributing to erratic thoughts, and most importantly, me not being able to bring myself out of it, because when I consider me coming out of this psychosis was like when I got here, I didn't touch anything for like 2 months, and that's when I really felt that I started to like return back to being myself, because even when I got here I was still off, and there were like messages that I'll name drop, Chris showing me that I was saying, and he was just like, what are you saying here? And I was just like, dude, like that, that's not me, you know what I mean? It's like, you just think in certain ways, like I was the executioner, you know what I mean? I was the judge, and I don't think that way now, but I did then, like, and it was very much, I was hearing things, I never really saw anything. There was never any, like, I don't think I interacted with any, like, visual hallucinations or anything like that. So, but I don't think it's any kind of, like, schizophrenia or anything like that. And the only reason I say that is because, to my knowledge, and this could be totally off, maybe I just heard this in a TV episode somewhere, so that's what I mean. I'm not a psychologist, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But during a schizophrenic episode, like, you don't, like, remember what happened during that episode. And I fully remembered what happened during that episode. I remember pretty much everything I did. There's some gaps in my memory, but I contribute that to, like, weed as more than I contribute it to any kind of like full-on psychosis thing. But the worst part of it, I would say, was there was like a 4-day period of time where I just physically could not sleep. And so this is the third factor, and this honestly may have been the biggest factor. So I became, kind of an insomniac, and the reason why was I was constantly in a fight or flight mode. For that 4 days where I couldn't sleep, I would be in my house, and this wasn't in my head, this was real, and this was contributing to all this and making this way worse than it otherwise would have been, because I had to, in my mind, not in my mind, I mean, I was really getting threatened. I was really getting threatened physically. This guy was, threatening to kill me, and I would literally just be like, okay, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just gonna leave. And I would leave at like 1 a.m. and I'd be out all night, and that's when I got into most of the shit that I got into. That's when I was partying, and that's when I was I snuck into a few clubs, and I was getting drunk, and that's really where most of that happened. There was I don't remember this, but there was a 2-day period of time where apparently I like didn't come home, and so yeah, those are the main like reasons that caused that to happen. I feel a lot more stable now, and I feel a lot less depressed. I've been super consistent with my workouts. I've been doing a cut. I'm on. I lost 18 pounds during July. I got up to 215, and I got down to 197. I'm at about 200 right now, but it's because I'm going for like a bench PR. And I've been super consistent with vitamins. I have like the biggest multivitamin stack that I've ever been taking right now. It's not like a lot. It's only 4 things, but compared to nothing, which is what I was usually doing, it's the most I've ever been on. So I feel really great mentally now, but it's taken a lot to get to this point, because even when I came back here, and like I said, I was like off of everything completely for 2 months, there was I kind of lost my train of thought. There was a depression because I think partially it was because of, you know, the amount of drugs I was doing, whatever, but my receptors were just fried. Like I had no motivation to do anything at all. I was like basically like when you're like a bedriddenly depressed for months. It was, you know, the gym for me is kind of like an automatic thing for me to do. It's not really hard. It's never really been hard for me to motivate myself to go to the gym. But during this period of time, I was going like twice a week, and I would lie about, you know, like the times, the rest that I needed. I'd be like, oh, I was overtraining, so I needed a lot of rest. But it was just because I was just so depressed that I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to lay in bed all day. And really, only when I started the cut during July did I kind of feel that lift. Partially because of, I don't know, a little bit of adrenaline, because I was starting a cut, so I'm like a little bit more motivated because of that. And then just lethargia, lifting from not eating so much food. But right now it's probably the best mentally that I've been doing, and that's like really weird because there's a lot going on at my house right now with my family members. They're just, I don't want to say too much about that, but it's been very, very rough. But despite that, this is still probably the best mentally that I've been doing. So yeah, that kind of fleshes that out. I don't know what more I want to say about it. If you think that you're going through something like that, it's very hard to get through to you. It's very hard for anyone to get through to you when you're in that state of mind. But if you think you're going through something similar, I would just say to swallow your pride and to seek professional help, even if it might seem scary, going to something like a psych ward, which I'm not even necessarily advocating for, because it's kind of a horrible environment and a very depressing environment. But that is better than being out on the street and just kind of surviving. So I would honestly say, if you don't have any sort of friends or family or whatever that you think you can really trust or turn to, I would say like seek professional help, because I think really it's a miracle that I'm alive, because I put myself in a lot of really stupid, dangerous situations. I was around people that in hindsight was just very stupid for me to be around. I was around pimps, I was around heavy drug users, like the big ones, you know, ICE, and I wasn't doing those things. Like I said, the only things I was doing were like alcohol and weed and shrooms one time. But still, I shouldn't have been around those people, and I shouldn't have been in those environments. But in the frame of mind that I was in, it was just a very like, while there was like a really heightened sense of danger and paranoia. It almost seems contradictory that I was in those environments, but I think that was just mainly due to the erratic thoughts and the lack of logic. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense. There's tons of things from that period of time that are just very contradictory. But again, it's because I was fucking insane. So yeah, I kind of want to wrap that segment up there because that's all I really can say about it. If you do have people that you trust and you do have like friends and family members, like reach out to them and try to. But the thing is, like, you know, it's very, very difficult for anyone that has never dealt with that themselves to empathize with, because I've said some things to people where I'm like, I did this, this, and this during it, and they just look at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I try to explain, like, you know, like, that wasn't me, you know what I mean? It literally feels like a separate personality that's like super disconnected, because if I'm in my right frame of mind, I would never have been around those people, I would never have hung out with them, but I did, specifically because I was in the middle of some kind of episode. And so that's what I mean. Like, if you try to reach out to family and friends about it, like, I did multiple times, a lot, and it made it worse because they were just kind of leaving me hanging, and then the feelings of like isolation and like, oh fuck, I got to deal with this, you know, myself. I've definitely felt like a good little bit of hopelessness there, and that definitely contributed to the depression afterwards, because I wouldn't go as far to say that it's impossible for them to relate to it, but it's very difficult for someone that has been mentally healthy their entire lives to really comprehend. Like, I have a better understanding now of, like, when you hear in court people like pleading insanity, and then they're no longer like liable for their actions. I understand that now, and I understand why that's the case, because me right now in my current frame of mind, I know that I never would have acted that way, and I know that I'm more responsible than that, and that I wouldn't have done the things that I did, or hung out with the people that I did if I was in my right frame of mind, because I don't know. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but yeah, I'm more responsible than that. And I would even consider myself, prior to this, like a very cautious person. I was like I went to like one party my entire life. I would never drink. I would never do anything. And then it all kind of just, I started doing stuff, and then I started doing a lot of stuff in a very short period of time. So yeah, but I want to like end that segment there, just because there's not really much else I can say, other than, you know, reach out to your friends and family, and if you don't have anyone like that, like, try to take it upon yourself to admit yourself somewhere, because yeah, it's better than putting, because you never, dude, I could have been kidnapped so many times, I could have been fucking, you know, there were days where I was like passed out drunk on somebody's couch, and, you know, I could have been fucking raped, I could have been roofied, or, you know, something or other along those lines. And it's just, you don't want to put yourself in that position. If you feel like you're losing your grip, go to a fucking psych ward or some shit. It's better than that. It's better than the alternative, which is you might put yourself in real fucking danger. So yeah. Yeah, you have anything to say about that?
No, not really.
What were you thinking when you first started seeing me like post that kind of stuff? What was going through your mind about what was going on with me?
Well, I didn't want to just assume that it was because of what you were on. That kind of led to just...
Because even when I came here, I felt like you weren't really fully aware of like how gone I was mentally.
Yeah, it's... I mean, the first day you came back, it wasn't super out of the ordinary like it used to be. And so that gave me like an idea of, okay, like he's come down a lot, you know.
Even compared to the peak, it definitely was.
It was still noticeable, but
It was noticeable, but I had definitely came down quite a bit. Yeah.
And then I'd say just like it became more noticeable that you weren't super close to being.
You can
like,
say like I'm not gonna take offense.
No, yeah, but like not super close to being completely baseline like before the stuff you would take. Like I think the night I did notice was when we were working out, and I remember, what is it, Donnie said like a little joke, and usually when I would say those jokes, like you wouldn't freak out like that, you know, like we would just laugh. Like Donnie would just the Asian guy, curly hair.
Oh.
He made a joke and I was like, oh, he's not taking.
You mean like he was making like underage.
Yeah, it was pretty foul.
And it was like, I couldn't honestly, like, even now, like if I remember what he was saying, it was still like a little unclear if he was being serious or not.
Oh no, yeah. Because then again, you guys haven't met yet. Prior to you leaving.
But bro, he was saying like he was like, okay, like 26 days.
It was a fun. Yeah, it was definitely strange.
It was like a little like.
But that's just his character. Like he's very out of pocket like that, and you being someone who just understands out of like anybody, whether they're being out of pocket or not, like you'd be able to beyond that. The fact that you didn't know that he was being that, like, you know,
I was very freaked out by that. I was very freaked out by that.
That's kind of what like got
I was like that's fucking weird. And then I like got up and left.
Yeah, and I was
like,
oh shit.
Went to get like water or something.
And that's what made me go like, oh yeah. There's still some
residual
time to pass until it's like completely settled. And would you say like now you're completely settled, or?
So I've been feeling recently like a little disassociated. Like you get that like kind of like I'm not like in my own body kind of feeling. But I feel like I've been able to keep myself in check. Like before, if I had some kind of like erratic thought, I would just immediately post some like story about it. But now, especially when I'm feeling like that, I kind of I stop myself and I'm like just stay off posting anything on social media for a while, just out of the danger that I'm gonna like look back on it later and be like, oh my god, what the fuck did I say? And like like during that period of time, I didn't like I refer to it as like a hippie psychosis. I was very friendly. I was very like I was super social, and I never got violent. Fortunately for me, like I said, it felt like euphoria. It felt like a constant euphoria, and there was a level of paranoia, but I think that's at least better than some of the other versions of psychosis there are. Fortunately, it was kind of a happy experience. What else though? Like you didn't think anything was off when you were seeing me post those stories while I was in Hawaii?
No, I definitely just something was off. Yeah, most definitely. But I just accredited it to that, like you and your friends in not Florida, Hawaii. No, yeah. I did know that. So, like something definitely was completely off. Nothing much to say there. Like,
What did you? I don't know.
Like the thought process.
I think the thing is for me, like, and why I started feeling that like alone feeling was like, for me now, if I see someone, and I'm not gonna say who, but we were just talking about someone who, it was very apparent to me that they were going through something similar. But that's only because I'd been through that, and I feel like for people like on the outside looking in, one of my friends told me that people just thought I was like a gay furry or some shit like that. Like I had just like, you know, like something like along those lines. Like it was just like a major personality shift or something like that, and nobody could really tell specifically what it was, other than people that had been. But I at that time I didn't really know anyone that had been through something like that, and so yeah, there was, I don't know, do I want to call this guy out? I remember at the lowest point, I called someone, and that was the first time that I think he saw me cry. This whole experience, when I say it was really embarrassing for me, prior to this, I would have considered myself, if you'd ever asked me, like a very, very, and I still do, it's like, that's what makes it so hard, is it's one of the core aspects of my personality, is I would consider myself a very mentally strong person. Like, you know, even when I don't want to say their name, but we were at the gym and then we got left, you know, you were very upset and I was just kind of like, yeah, this happens.
Yeah.
I don't really get upset at shit. Even like I said, I'm doing the best now, and I'm not going to say what, but there's a bunch of family stuff happening, and I would consider myself someone who, I deal with conflict very easily. I deal with confrontation very easily. I deal with problems very easily. I don't get stressed out by really anything. The only thing that stresses me out is in a very solipsistic and like narcissistic way. It's just really whatever I'm thinking about myself at that given period of time. I'm not a jealous person. I don't think of anybody really, and I know that sounds like really bad, but I would consider myself like a very mentally strong person. So the fact that this happened to this extent and I lost control for so long, really, like, it did a number on me, because it was definitely like a big reset. And I would say now, relationships for me have gotten like way easier, because, and like rebuilding bridges with people has gotten way easier, just because I had like a really big reset of pride. Like I would say, like, you know, I have like no pride right now, and that's not necessarily a great thing, but it's caused me to I've made a lot of friends in the last couple months on that basis. I don't really think a lot of myself right now, because of that mental health thing. It just kind of it made me, like, I was very proud of like the amount of self-discipline and like self-control that I had, and then all just went right out the fucking window. So there was a big reset, and I'm just trying to chill, and I'm not really like talking too big about myself, even as a joke. I don't know if you've noticed that, but like in the past I would make like a lot of jokes about like, I don't know, just kind of like, you know, kind of like male bravado kind of statements, and they were jokes. But I don't really do even that anymore, because even as a joke, it just feels so like, it feels so fake, and it feels so just separate from who I am now. So I guess you could say in a way that's a good thing, because like I said, it has made me, I think before I would get, I had this thing in my head that people couldn't understand me, or that I still do kind of feel that way, you know what I mean, because the whole mental health thing, it really did show me, like, you know, nobody's really going to be able to empathize with this unless they've been through it themselves. And it's such a not that mental health is a niche topic, but specifically like personally having been through psychosis, or knowing someone that's been through a psychosis is relatively niche. So people, you know, your friends aren't therapists, your friends aren't psychologists, they don't know how to deal with that, and it's not their responsibility to. So I don't blame anybody for not understanding, and I don't blame anybody for the way they handled me during that period of time. But I will say that aspect of it made it a lot more difficult to deal with. The only reason really why I think I'm alive was during those times I was I remember I would keep repeating this to myself like erratically, but I was just like, I don't want to be another sad story. I don't want to be a fucking Lane Staley or a Kurt Cobain or like, oh, he was too special for this world, and people just talk about me with like, you know, rose tinted shades and like appreciate me more after I'm gone. I was like, fuck that. Like, I don't, I don't want to be a story like that. I don't want people to, honestly, I don't want people to be able to say, oh, I had this friend and I lost him, and like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be a sob story. So I just, that's what I mean. I mean, even through that insane state of mind, in the environments and people I was around, I pushed through, and I kind of carried myself through it. There was no psych medication. There was nothing, which is not good. I mean, I could have maybe dealt with the whole thing with much more tact and maybe gotten over it or out of it way sooner if I had sought help or whatever. But the thing is, like, you know, when you're in that state of mind, you don't really think you need help. So it's kind of it was very difficult for anyone that did kind of sense something was off to get through. But one thing that I will say, I remember one of my friends telling me afterwards, after I'd gotten off the call with that guy and I had cried, he told me a few months later, not the guy that had called, but a mutual friend, that guy had like talked to him, and he's like, oh, you know, I'm like really worried, and that mutual friend was very, very worried about me and like didn't say anything. If you have an inkling or something like that of an idea, just check up on your people and ask them what's going on, because I remember one time you did, and it was like, you were like, just tell me like what's going on, and I was just like, I just feel really, really lost. I feel very, very lost. I remember saying that, and yeah, just check up on your people. But I don't know. I kind of want you to say more about, I don't know, what you were feeling about it at the time, because I'm very much interested in like how other people were viewing that. Because I'm sure everyone that was like viewing my stories and everything was like, okay, something's off here, because I was posting a fuck ton.
I mean, I feel like a majority were just like, okay, whatever, let him do his thing. Because I mean, like, are most of your followers your friends anyways? Like, most of your followers, like, most of my followers aren't even like super talk to everyday people.
I would say most of them are. Yeah.
Talk to everyday people.
I don't think that most of them are talk to them everyday people, but I do think that most of my followers are my friends. Mm-hmm. I think I did a very good job of when I was insane. I was like, yo, if you don't, I remember saying like a million times,
fuck with me, get the fuck
if
out
you
of
don't
here.
Fuck with me, get the fuck off my page.
And did your followers ever drop when doing that?
No. So that's what I mean. I think they were all just like, okay, let's just see what happens. Mm. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like most of my followers are people that I met in real life and I had like a really good interaction with, and yeah. But what were you gonna say?
Because I'm pretty sure I could speak for like most of the people that you do talk to every day.
They didn't reach, like, I got kind of pissed off with like the friend group that one person. It was you and Luciana. And even with you, it was kind of like I had to kind of give you an inkling of what was going on first. Yeah, because I mean, we were still like texting or whatever throughout that time while I was in Hawaii. But I don't think until I really said like, oh, this is what's happening, did you really get like the full or a real grasp on what was going on.
I will say something good that did come out of it was that one day when you were like, bro, we're gonna make it, man. I'm fucking shredded right now. I'm looking great, bro. As soon as we get back, we're gonna start recording. We're gonna start filming. You know, we're all gonna make it, bro. Hell yeah. And I was like, what the hell? Like, okay, well, let's do it. I was like, okay, that's great. You know, and
that's what I mean. Like, I was very positive during that. Yeah.
And I was like, I'll take that. Yeah.
There was just an aftermath that was just very depressing, but
that was a big high for you. And like hearing that, I was like, okay, it's coming back better than ever. Like, okay, great, you know. And then he came back, and for the most part, that is what it was. We did record.
This never got uploaded.
Yeah, we did record a bunch of things that didn't get uploaded.
We record. Okay, let's not say a bunch of things.
Not a bunch of things.
Two things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a podcast. So you saw the stories. Like episode 6 was recorded and deleted because I didn't feel comfortable uploading it because, like I said, when I got back here, we shot that like the day I got back, I think, or like the day after.
The
or
day
something.
like literally the night of I brought you to my house.
Yeah, and so I was still very much like in it, and I just looked at the video and I look at how my voice sounded, I look at how at what I was saying, my body language and everything like that, and it was just very much like I was still in it. So I didn't feel, and I almost uploaded it, like, but then I like wasn't able to, so that kind of saved me.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I would have probably taken it down. So that's why, that's kind of fully explaining that situation. I'm honestly surprised you don't have like a little bit more insight onto.
No, dude. it's that's all there was to it. Was just like.
This is what I mean that I'm very surprised by is like. Other than that one guy, I don't know what it was with him because he always was kind of like I knew he loved me, but we never like really like talked a lot. So I mean that was just kind of the main thing. But after that call, and I've reached out to him twice now, and he hasn't responded or sent anything back. So I just want to say to him, if I did anything to piss you off or I did something against you, like. I don't remember it, and I'm not trying to avoid accountability there. I just literally can't think of, I've been like racking my brain, I really can't think of anything that I did, but if I did do something, I am sorry, and I hope we're cool, or if you're going through something and that's why, that's cool as well. I'm understanding of whatever you might be going through, and I just hope we're okay because I love you. But yeah. You want to talk about you competing?
But here we are now. Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to like the thing is like the other topics like it's kind of hard to like transition.
I know, yeah. But with that being said, we're gonna get back into.
Okay, wait.
Can
you start talking about competing and everything? I'm gonna use the restroom really quickly. Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
All right. Are we gonna edit this out or what?
No. Just start talking about it.
Start talking about it? Okay. I'll start talking about it. So my first competition was, I believe in May. No. My first competition was. No, yeah. Hold on. Fuck. I have a brain fog. Sorry. May something in between that. It was at Elko, and it really wasn't an organized. Well, it was organized, but it wasn't anything too spectacular. You know, it was more of like a club meeting, a club event, a club that I never attended any meetings to. I just knew the head of the club, and he is a super cool guy. He also competed before me. Great person, by the way. I never met him in person until that day. But other than that, it was just like speaking over DMs and whatnot. And so the day that the idea of the competition was pitched, I was like, okay, fuck it. I want in on this. So I joined. I got first place. And in that crowd, there was a woman who was... I don't know what position she holds in this organization. I know she is very important to it, but she introduced me to this organization called the UNBA, United Natural Bodybuilding Association, and that I feel like competitions, things like this really does open doors, because in I believe June 21st, that was like my first ever organized competition. Also won first place. And so that before I ever did any competitions, I did go to the convention center this year at Fit Expo with a couple of buddies of mine, and I did take a picture with Breon Ainsley. And before that picture was taken, I was approached by a peer of his and his two sons, and I just got into conversation, and he pitched the fact that there were 3 local bodybuilding competitions that were taking place at Venice Beach, and one was in May on the 21st, and one was on the 4th of July, and the next one, which is the one that I'm competing in, is on Labor Day on September 1st, a day before my birthday. And after I did the one that I got first place in, I decided to do the one on July 4th. I felt like the one in January, February, May was too soon, and I felt like I needed more time to prepare. And so I did the one in July, and I got second place. So obviously that was like a bit of a hit to my winning streak. But I do feel like I definitely could. It was a learning experience, and I definitely can bring the heat this time. I'm glad that there's 3 because I don't know if that was just the only one, and not to wait till next year.
From what I heard from Tyler, the only reason that he didn't lose was, that he didn't lose. The only reason they didn't win was just because of conditioning.
Yeah, he was. Oh man, he was something. His proportions were very good. Very cool guy, by the way. I wasn't able to see his posing routine, and I really wasn't paying attention to him when we were posing for the prejudging, so I wasn't super paying attention to his onstage performances, but I did see backstage his full physique, and he was great. So I mean, I definitely feel like I had a fair chance at going against him. And like I said, it is a learning experience. I do know now many things that I could have incorporated then, but like I said, I didn't know. Learning experience. So I feel like this time I'm ready to bring it with full potential, full knowledge. Maybe not full knowledge. I mean, I only have what I know now, and there's always room for improvement. But I just want to take home first place because it is the day before my birthday, and I mean, I don't know, it weighs pretty heavy on me because I mean, I feel like I kind of have this weird thought process of, okay, if I were to get 3rd place, I say 3rd place is a punch to the face and 2nd place is a slap to the face, and I feel like I'd rather get punched than slapped, because if you get punched, it's like just like that, it's impact. But when you get slapped, there's like an after sting, like it stings a little bit. So I feel like that's kind of my thought process. When I got 2nd place, I was like, fuck it, like, damn it, But I definitely,
like if it was the thing of like, oh, they're just way better than me, then I just got to put in some time. But it was like, you could have won.
Exactly. That could have is kind of what got me. Like if I just did that minute amount of work to overtake Mr. First Place, then I could have done it, but I didn't. So it is a little discouraging, but there's always something you could do with that kind of loss. It's good to now focus on the fact that you weren't far at all from getting first place. So instead of like focusing too much on the fact that I could have done this but I didn't, I guess now I'm like going into the train of thought of I'm not far from getting this guy, So now it's like, and
the one you're competing in was like the teens category. Like you can still compete in that same competition next year.
Yeah, it is 14 to 19, ages 14 to 19. But the guy that I competed with was like a year younger than me.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so like
so
a year
he could compete there too. That'd be nice to go against him again.
I certainly do hope that he is going to be there again.
I'm going to be there.
You're going to compete?
Yeah, I'm going to compete in that same competition.
Right now?
No. Next year. Next year.
Well, I mean, 14 to 19, you have, you definitely could. Your birthday is July 14th, right? 14th. July 4th and May, I believe it was 25th, May 25th. You are eligible for those, because once you turn 20, it's like you're gonna have to go to the big leagues.
Yeah.
With the adults and stuff. So, yeah, I know next year I'm cool to be in the teens division for like the other 3, and then I'll be set to be with the big dogs the year after. But originally, when I wanted to compete, I didn't want to win. You know, I wanted to just put myself out there and be scouted for like model agencies and whatnot. But for some reason, like suddenly it's just like, oh, now I want to win. Like me being in the first ever competition that I was in at the club meet, I wanted to get first place. That's when I realized that I want to win these next upcoming competitions, because it just feels so much better being like there for a reason, and that reason is to win. It's not a guarantee that you will win. It's also not a guarantee that I'll be scouted by somebody in the crowd, but I just wanted to work towards something, and I feel like doing these competitions gave me more of like a mini goal, you know, like just, you know, many things to work towards. I know, like, obviously going viral, being sponsored, being a model for this brand, being known for this, that's like the major goal, the major finish line. But doing these competitions and gaining a reputation for yourself is definitely something that I want to, it's like what is it? A bunny, a rabbit, picking up little carrots. That's what I'm seeing this as, is just picking up carrots.
Okay.
That's kind of the mental image I want to put out there, and I'm very excited for this one. I've definitely been training hard.
You gotta come in. You gotta diet a little bit harder.
Yeah,
last couple
most
of
definitely.
weeks. Because the thing is, like, the conditioning at these shows is just not very impressive.
Yeah.
So if you can come in and you can be the leanest guy there, you're already probably either the most jacked or the second most jacked, like, or the top 3 most jacked in this thing. If you just are by far the most conditioned, you win.
Mm.
So,
and being at the age that we are right now, I want to, like, I know this is a ongoing thing where it's like people who work out kind of like not hate they do hate their birth, like younger people who work out hate their birthdays because they hear like
every year you get less impressive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you're only this age or this age and you look like that.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like I'm chasing like a bigger expectation every time I get older.
Yeah. Especially as a natty, it's hard because, you know, you're just not going to make the same gains as you did in your first year of training or whatever. So
right.
It's like to make those same improvements and be as impressive every single year just gets exponentially harder.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's what is it, like inflation? Like
physique inflation.
Yeah, physique inflation. And I feel like things like this definitely have people wanting to do things that are unnatural to get to like
Speaking of
a bigger you know a bigger picture as to what their potential is. Oh, I love that word, potential. Their potential is it's just not super far out of reach, but they'll just do anything for it by any means necessary. And I feel like from May all the way till even from January all the way till now, like the amount of times I heard the word potential this year is like probably more than I've even spoke the word potential. And it feels like a calling, you know. And on the topic of natural and unnatural methods to getting where you want to be, I'm not saying I'm not natural now, okay? I'm completely 100% still natural. And I know we've spoken a lot about, you know, steroids, peptides, SARMs on the podcast that we've had prior to this. And there are, you know, I guess different tiers.
So my general thesis on it is that there's differing degrees of unnatural. Like if you were to take a Ronnie Coleman, for example, who's taking, you know, like a kitchen sink approach, just like as much of everything, like steroids, growth hormone, insulin. I don't know if I don't think peptides were really prevalent back then, but if they were, peptides, SEO, site enhancement oil, like synthol, and a million other things. There's degrees. Do you want to say what you're,
What I'm
what you want to take?
Yes. Okay. So I wanted to hold out on taking anything else other than creatine or even protein powders. I'm not really taking any protein powders right now, but I definitely am. I have upped my dose of creatine. I do 2 scoops every day.
Which is not bad for your kidneys
Yes.
at all.
Exactly.
That's the whole reason why. It's just like the whole thing in the scientific lifting community where everyone's like, oh, we've been underdosing it this whole time.
And it's honestly also encouraged for people who don't work out to take it.
It's a great nootropic. Studies have shown that within a 36-day period, I think it was, that people that were taking at least 10 grams a day for that period of time, when they're sleep deprived, performed 70% better memory-wise than people that weren't taking creatine. So it is a very potent nootropic, as well as just general health. I mean, even if you're not working out, one of the main thing that creatine does is obviously increase your ATP storages in your cells. So even if you don't work out, you'll have more energy, you'll have more mental clarity, you'll be able to perform better mentally, learn faster, you know, for studying, whatever. It's a no-brainer supplement. I would tell my 86-year-old grandmother to take it. Yeah. So.
And don't forget to drink your milk.
And water, yeah. Just stay hydrated on it. Unless you're drinking 16 ounces of water a day, you're going to be fine.
And so, yes, there are different levels, I guess, to what you can consider natural. But, you know, peptides have been going around, especially as of recent, even for people who don't even work out. Some people take peptides to, I guess, improve their facial structure. I guess just, you know, anything looks-wise, even internally, people will still take peptides, regardless if they're if it's for bodybuilding purposes or not. And so, at this point, I don't even think it's heavily considered. I think I already took the first step, which is getting my hands on, drum roll please, that's MK677, and it is not a steroid, okay? It is a...
Do you not know?
Peptide?
It is a SERM.
SERM?
Oh no, it's not a SERM. It is a growth hormone secretagogue. It's not a SARM.
I've heard that before, yes.
And clomiphene is a SERM. MK677 is a growth hormone secretagogue.
And what it does, educated by him, of course, it helps you produce more of the growth hormone you already have. Internally, it helps you produce it. It's not like the growth hormone that you would take unnaturally. It helps you produce more.
Yeah.
You know?
So you're not introducing like if you were to inject testosterone, for example, that's like exogenous, and you would be, exogenous just means it's outside of your body, and you would be putting that into yourself. So this just upregulates your natural growth hormones. It's not growth hormone, it's IGF-1, but it's the same like pathway. And the way it does it is it stimulates this hormone called ghrelin, which is a hunger receptor, and through cascading effects increases your IGF-1. So,
and so,
which is insulin growth factor 1. Yeah.
I guess you could argue I'm not natural, or I am natural, It all just depends.
My
on
general
how you see
opinion on it is that it's like a 1% not natty thing. It's like you're 99% natural if you take it, especially if you just do like one cycle of it. It's not a cycle. For just so you know, if you ask anybody who they don't even have to be on something, just someone who's natural and just knows anything of what they're talking about, and you say, "Oh yeah, I'm on cycle, bro," and they're like, "Oh yeah, bro, what do you want?" And you're like, "MK677." They're gonna look at you like, "Shut the fuck up." They're gonna say like, "You're a fucking pussy.
Well,
just take steroids."
I mean, who knows? Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
So it is a very moderate approach, especially at the dose that he's going to do. It's very extremely negligible health side effect wise. There are some, like if you were to take higher doses of it, like 40 milligrams a day, and for an extended period of time, you could develop some insulin sensitivity. But that's not even from the drug itself. That's from the food. Because if you're eating, most people take it in a bulk context. So if you take it in that context and you get way fucking fatter, you eat too much sugar, your body eventually might not be able to handle it, and you can your blood sugar can go out of whack. And I don't know any even from online. I don't know any cases of anybody personally. I'm sure they exist, but I've never heard of somebody who became diabetic through MK677. But that is just one of the theorized potential negative, and not theorized. I mean, it makes sense that it could happen, but I'm just saying that it's very unlikely. I've done MK677 before. I didn't notice any of that. Then again, I wasn't tracking my blood sugar or anything like that. But it's also very easily avoidable. You can take these things. They're like insulin tablets, and they help you. They're literally called slim pills, and they just help you regulate your blood sugar. So the side effects of it are so easily mitigatable. Yeah. So it's that's why I consider it 90. And it's not nearly as anabolic as even something like testosterone or SARMs. It's pretty much like the weakest thing you can take. So, yeah, that's why I say 99% natty. Yeah.
So for the most part, I'm still natural. Whatever.
90%.
And I mean, I'm already like hearing the people just go like, "Oh, you're just taking the weaker approach to it," you know. And I feel like a majority of those people don't even work out. And if they
that's
do,
such a horrible argument
so,
from people. You're taking the easy way out. I mean,
go fuck yourself.
You've been training for a number of years at this point, so it's not like you hopped right into it. You've been training since you were 15. So
and even then, I didn't even take creatine yet. For my first year of training, I only started taking creatine like 2 years ago. I think it's already been 3 years now that I've been lifting naturally. Like my first year.
We're not saying like that's like an insane amount of time or anything, but it's like this was a well thought out decision. It wasn't something that he jumped the gun on.
Yeah, and for my first year, I didn't really have a gym. Well, I did. Oh, it's still recording?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I did not go to a commercial gym. Well, I did like once, and it was Planet Fitness. But for the most part, all I had were just like a few dumbbells and like a bench in my home gym. And like I said, all I had other than water was just protein. You know, I didn't take pre-workouts.
I don't think you started going to LA Fitness until I started going to LA Fitness.
It was September 6th, I believe. September 6th of 2022, I started going to LA Fitness with him. And that's like my first ever like consistent going to a commercial gym, going to a gym that has more than just a bench and a few weights. It was all just free weight stuff and like, you know, body weight exercises and activities that I did. But when it came to going to a commercial gym, you have more machines, you have more of a organized, I guess, stable form kind of machine that helps you.
It's easier to progress long term because like in a gym setup like that, like not that that's bad or anything. Like if you're just like a normal like your dad for example, it's like he's not trying to compete, he's not trying to whatever, he's just trying to stay in shape. That's he's trying to compete.
Well, okay, I'll get into that, but continue.
But that's like perfectly fine. Like that's some people that's pretty good. But for more, I'd say I would say that if you want to compete, you should definitely just get a regular gym membership because having to buy, to get like a full, dude, like it might be like 10 grand to like get like a full like, halfway decent home gym. And even then you're not gonna have the full, bells and whistles that even a Planet Fitness would. So it's probably better just to get a gym membership.
On top of that, we've been kind of looking for like a cable. I feel like that's really all that I'm missing right here is like, I mean, I do now have a bench. I mean, our dumbbells only go from like 10 to 30. But I feel like all we're really missing, that would be like more than enough for me, would be a cable. And that's kind of like, that's all. Like
but even that alone is already like, even the cheapest ones are going to be like around 800 or a grand.
Yes, exactly.
Upwards of a grand.
And the ones that are a little bit cheaper than that only go to like, I think 100 pounds, like 110 pounds at most. I saw one at Sam's Club and that shit was like $750 and it only went to like 120. So I don't know. Probably not. And on top of that, my dad is considering competing. I heard he wants to.
That's pretty cool.
He told me he wants to compete.
That'd be dope if it would be like at the same competition, like you could compete. That'd be awesome.
I'm telling you, like compared to the guys that were there, I guess like the natural class of people the same age as my dad, dude, if he was on stage, he would have blew them out the water. If he actually if he dieted down, if he worked out more than he does, I mean, like, dude, as of right now, I think he's like in his best shape ever. I've seen old pictures of my dad when he would work out like in his 20s, 30s, 40s. Still doesn't really amount to how much size he has right now. And maybe I could argue like before his back surgery, he had like more mass on his arms, he had a fuller chest. But then again, that surgery was like a few months ago. I'd say like 5 months ago. And in that time, like, he's gotten really back into it. He was already doing like 225, like straight out surgery from his back. And no, he is natural to my knowledge. But like I said, to my knowledge, but he looks pretty good for his age. So like I said, if he were to compete in that natural division, he would definitely, he has a more than good chance of blowing them out the water, and that's not even me just being biased because he's my dad. If you guys were
I've
there,
seen him. He's got pretty good arms.
If you guys were there on September 1st, Labor Day at Venice Beach, you'll definitely see for myself what I'm talking about. So maybe this is an invite to everybody. September 1st, Venice Beach.
Yeah, pull up.
Watch me get first place.
Oh fuck! We'll leave that alone.
Watch me get first place. I'm gonna speak it into existence. Watch me get first place. Watch me get first place. Watch me get first place.
I have confidence you'll be able to win it. Yeah, you just gotta drop.
Do you have more confidence now that I could hit it this time than last time? Because then again, those two competitions, there was a 2-week gap between one that wasn't super official and one that is just like.
Are you lower now than you were on stage?
Yes.
Your body weight is lower right now than it was on stage last time.
On stage, I was like, I think 168, 169.
And where are you right now?
Right now, my morning weight is 159.
Then yeah, and you've got some time. I would say that you should drop like another 10 pounds and then do like a little refeed.
And the crazy part is
get
that
back up to like 155, but
at
to have
the-
that be on glycogen and water.
at the gym right now, my numbers haven't gone down a big amount. I'd say like right now on incline for bench, I'm still pushing 205. Yeah, my PR was like 225 for 3, but right now it's like 200, like 205 for 6. And even then, I'm not even supposed to just be testing my strength. I should just be like doing a bunch of hypertrophy work. But at the same time, it's like I'm surprised that it hasn't gone down a decent amount, like a fat amount. Because what I heard a bunch from people who do go on cuts, whether they compete or not, their numbers go down, rightfully so. But I don't know. I guess that just isn't the case for me. I don't know why, but I'm not gonna question it. I love it.
Well,
So
I don't think like if you were down to like 5%, I think you would notice that. But I think because you haven't been around that, it hasn't been.
Yeah, it hasn't been
major.
super crazy.
Yeah.
But still, it's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. You guys could check my results on TikTok if you follow me.
Well,
You probably don't.
we'll plug it in,
Yeah.
in the description.
And so, yeah, that is my current, I guess, update on my natty status for people who even do assume that I wasn't natty before and I would just lie about it. It's completely absurd because then again, like, even for people who do accuse me of being unnatural and do work out, you'd think that you'd understand, like, it's just people who actually are dedicated to the sport and to just like.
And I hope people that like accuse him of that, I hope they know like you come across as very jealous. You come across as very jealous. And then one thing that I will say, I've never gotten ever that kind of a discrediting from someone bigger than me. It's always people that look way worse than you. Always.
And there's no reason to be jealous because, if anything, I should be more of like a motivator to people.
Those memes about like, oh, if they're bigger than me, they're not natty. That's a joke, but it's also not because the people that that accuse you of that are literally like, I mean, I'm not saying always, but very, very often they are smaller and they don't have much of a physique to speak of, and they're giving that criticism. So,
and the crazy part is, you definitely can. You are more than capable of doing so. Even, bro, there are people who are disabled. Like, the people who are coming at me are perfectly able, but there are people who are disabled who definitely, like, they just give you no excuse. You really do not have an excuse.
yeah, I see people with butterfly skin. I see people with, full on like. There's this guy I'm following right now. I forget his name, but he's burned like 80% throughout his body, and he's still like pretty fucking jacked. So yeah, I mean, there's no excuses when it comes to. And beyond that, like, I remember I had a guy recently who was like, he started working out, and he was like, I never really thought of myself as like, as a bro or as like a, like a weightlifting guy, because people think it's a personality, and for a lot of people it is, but there's just generally so many health benefits. I mean, when you're older, do you want to have to go into some kind of care facility because you can't get up off the toilet? No. And so if you're a woman, if you're a guy, like and especially if you're a woman, because of how prevalent osteoporosis is, workout, man. Bone density is important. Muscle strength, joint strength, ligament strength, tennis strength is all very important, especially not even for the vanity, but just for longevity and functionality later in life. You don't want to be disabled due to age. Yeah. And mentally, I mean, exercise is one of the only things that is proven to literally regrow brain cells. So there's that. People put so much of an emphasis on the people that are critical of people that do weightlift specifically. It's not any other sport. It's only bodybuilding really that you hear the vanity comment towards, and it's just, it's ridiculous. Every single other thing is a discipline, is a skill, but bodybuilding isn't looked at like that. Bodybuilding, unfortunately, I think is always going to have this layer of vanity by the public, and it's ridiculous because every single bodybuilder that I know, they're fully aware of the fact, and because every male bodybuilder has had this experience where you start working out and you think you're going to get girls and then you just get a bunch of male attention. We all know that it's not a conventionally attractive thing. That's not why we're doing it. You don't do shot put to get the ladies, you know what I mean? You don't do discus to get the lady. You do it because that you like the sport, you like, in the same way they like, throwing the javelin and getting 10 meters further. I like to, do my bicep curls and PR every single session, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a form of self-improvement, and it's just a form of, it's an activity that you like getting better at in the same way you'd like getting better at a video game or anything. But specifically when it comes to bodybuilding, because it is a physical, how you look focused sport, people don't view it as a discipline as much. There is very much so, again, more than anything that I can think of, an aspect of people thinking that you're doing it for vain reasons, which is just ridiculous.
It's just a plus, like, it's definitely something that you can
and only to a certain extent. I mean, look, if you're 120 pounds, might you get a little bit more attention from gaining 30-40 pounds of muscle? Yeah, because you looked unhealthy before and now you look healthier. That's the only reason why. And the other reason is just that you're more self-confident because you feel better about yourself.
You sit up straight.
Yeah, so you're willing to put yourself out there more. So, if anything, that's where it might come from. But everybody, but I know I've said this a few times now, but they're all very self-aware of the fact that it's not necessarily a conventionally attractive pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not why they're going into it. There is a subsect of TikTok bodybuilding that's just like associated with like the black pill looks maxing community, but
that is something that I was asked to speak about, but I'm sure you know who. And so like I said, when I did talk about people taking peptides, and even if it wasn't for bodybuilding purposes,
let's wrap this up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so there's like that black pill community of, what is it, like, if you weren't born with this, then it's over for you.
Yeah, black pill is basically like it was over from you from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you weren't born a certain like archetype, I don't know what the main one they like is. I
think it's HTN. There's Chad, HTN, LT something.
I'm not even like, I would consider myself like I have some ball knowledge on this. But I'm not
elite ball knowledge, bro.
Yeah, like because most people don't know what the black pill like is or what it means, and I think just the fact that I know what it is already like pretty bad. But I don't know about that. But I mean, like, specifically there is a very heavy racial element to it that I think turned me off to it and turned me off to, because there's like the Ziz like aesthetics movement, which is just like get lean, get decently shaped, not necessarily mass monster 250 pound
it's just all
Nick
about
Walker.
self-improvement,
but it's about, well, Ziz's thing was just like be confident, have fun, build this body so that you can be confident in yourself and break out of your shell,
and inspire others.
Inspire other people to start lifting who are skinny, and that's a tale as old as time. But with looks maxing, it because of the because of the racial element to it, it's kind of like you feel like
inferior.
Yeah, you feel well. I don't, but I mean,
it makes people.
It can make people who are wanting to get into it, want to get into looks maxing for self-improvement, confidence reasons, be immediately turned off to it because of that. But I do want to say that is just a subsect. I wouldn't even say that that's a majority of the community. I would say the majority of the community are probably like people that are just a little insecure and they want to just take better care of. Look, 80% of looks maxing honestly is just like general hygiene stuff. But
taking a step further, though.
Taking a step further, there's like the bone smashing and
And the peptides.
I don't really know about the peptide aspect.
Well,
of
there
it.
is.
I know there's like people would take growth hormone and whatever because.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you are aware of the that one influencer Clavicular, he is there's Clavicular, and then there's also another like Smaxer who doesn't even like human, but he does a great pause. But they do encourage the use of peptides, and I mean, yes, there is a bunch of like research behind it. They do explain why you should take them, and not should, but why you can take them, and that it doesn't really overall damage your insides, your internals, your whatever, and the good that it can do for you. It's just
just so everyone's a little bit, because I mean, there's the audience here isn't really big enough to where I think a lot of people are going to just go, oh, let me try that out. But there's such a big degree in, like, when you hear peptide SARMs, compound to compound amount of what you're taking versus what somebody else is taking. There's such a big variance that I don't really feel like you can say with good, not with goodwill. I don't know what the exact term I'm looking for here is, but I don't think you can make an overarching statement and just say that all peptides are negligent health-wise, because they're absolutely not. There are some that are extremely liver toxic, and if you know, especially if you have some underlying health condition, you can be sent to the hospital. So do your research on them. Don't think that, oh, it's a peptide, it's not a steroid, that you're not gonna have some sort of negative health side effect. Some of them are pretty negligible. Some
are also used for curing, like diseases and just any other sicknesses. Some are used for those purposes. They are research chemicals, like things like ostarine. I think that one's used for cancer, is it not?
All steroids pretty much were invented with the purpose of treating muscle wasting from cancer. Even today, if you have cancer, they'll give you Anavar, which is one of the most popular steroids in current competitive bodybuilding. It's one of the best steroids, and it is given to cancer patients.
And on top of that, when I was dealing with my asthma when I was way younger,
different kinds, corticosteroids.
Yeah, it's just like in the name, steroid,
Yeah.
And so even then, it's just like they're for your health.
Yeah.
And I guess some people can go about and abuse it, do things with it that they're not supposed to, do things with it that will, just whatever the purpose is, just be careful, be knowledgeable, be educated as to what you do with what you have. I guess, the best thing to do is just look it up, do your own research, see if it's a risk you want to run. And if it is, by all means. If it isn't, okay, then don't fucking buy it.
Yeah, and the most important thing is, like, you need to come to terms with the idea that no matter what you do health mitigation wise, there's always going to be some negative health side effect. And if you're not able to swallow that pill, I would say stay away. And if you're not willing to do the research yourself, even, I would say stay away. Because even trusting someone else and like a vetted source, it's kind of hard unless you're already in the know. So do your due diligence, research like a maniac before you take anything. And even when you do, try to take a moderate approach. And if anything else, just for this reason, if you take the kitchen sink approach from the beginning out of a
desperation,
out of I want to make as much gains as possible, you will also peak faster. You will reach your peak faster versus if you take a more moderate approach, you could keep making improvements for decades. So yeah, if for no other reason than that, don't hop totally into anything. Yeah.
So with that being said, I mean, like, there's the black pill stuff. There was a red pill. There was a blue pill.
It's still there.
And now here's the black pill, and the black pill is just like, I'm sure for the most part, there is not a negative message towards it.
No, I would say black pill does have a negative message.
There is an argument to be made there.
Looks maxing in general, like if you want to say like the red pill stuff, you could say that. But a black pill in general is, I would say, there's a very heavy racist element to it. And there's a very big, like,
I'm gonna say it's more so just an
if
aggressive.
because if
version
you
of it.
know what the black pill means, then it's inherently racist.
There are some that I've seen. I don't even know.
There
if
might
they're
be people
considered.
within the community, like content creators, that are like, "Oh no, it's not."
And
it's
there are
not
some
like that."
videos as well to
But
combat
like
that.
clavicular, for example, like he just called the people like subhuman and shit. It's like,
I mean, I'm sure I don't know if it's just like some laughing matter, but I feel like there's some videos that I have seen that are, I don't even know if they're considered black pill, if there's anything positive to it. There's a positive element. I feel like it's just an aggressive more version of, do it quick, like just fix yourself now. Like it's more of like an urgent message to people. It's just like, hurry the fuck up, because if the more you wait, the lower you go.
but that's not. And I'm gonna have to push back there because that's not what black pill is. Definitionally, that's not what it is. Definitionally, it is if you're not born this certain way, it is over. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
They don't believe that personality has like anything to do with your dating success, which is such like it's such an autistic
And it's very to some degree
approach or like lens of the dating community. They're basically like, if you're not Chad, it's give up.
And for the most part,
first. Let me just, because he's gonna go on here. That is literally the foundational principle of the black pill community.
right. And for the most part,
what he's saying, they're like, oh, do it now. You don't have time to waste. I wouldn't even say that that's a bad thing. But that might be an aspect of black pill, but that's not the main thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be like I don't know, I'm trying to make an analogy here.
Because I definitely can't agree with
being
you.
like, well, I'm not, this is a crazy comparison. I'm not calling you a Nazi or whatever, but like
Yeah.
being like Germany being like, oh, well, fascism's great because, he was super clean. That was one of his big things.
And
It was,
he
like,
had
very,
a side sweep, and
was
his
a-
mustache was very...
He was a very great public speaker.
Yeah.
But it's like that might be like the most positive aspect of it, but that's not the overarching
Yeah, I feel like right now I'm just kind of just
creed
shining
of
light
the
on the
black
good part
pill.
of it. Yeah.
But with that I wouldn't include that in the black pill. I would include that in just the looks maxing community in general, which I don't think is inherently negative.
Because I definitely do agree. There are some like black pill videos that are.
I think the
very,
looks
very
maxing
racist.
community is basically what it's the modern day aesthetics movement.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, would you argue that there's much more negativity in this one than there ever was in the aesthetics movement, or is it? Like
Dude, the
same
aesthetics movement was basically just like
because it was game changing.
It was euphoria incarnate. Like I wouldn't go as far as to say that there was nothing, because I mean, if you're like a very, very, and I don't mean like dark humor, like if you're just a very sensitive person, I don't know, because even then, like, I don't think Ziz really did anything that was like inherently like crazy controversial. Like steroid use was way more controversial back then.
Yeah, but I feel like at that time, yeah, there really was nothing crazy.
I don't think, I mean, there was like one video when he was like 15, and he's Arab, so it's kind of like he's, I don't know, it's his own, of the controversial jokes he could make, it's not really like too crazy, but there's like one video of him like in a, what do you call it?
Turban?
I don't know if it's called a turban because it wrapped fully around his
Like a
hijab.
hijab kind of thing?
Kind of, something like that. And he
Soviet
was like,
tell us.
he was doing like some, just like a bombing threat thing, like a terrorist joke. But I mean, he's making fun of his own people there. So I mean, it's kind of like whatever. But that was like the most controversial thing. That's only like one clip. All the other stuff was just like, he would just like troll women online.
Yeah.
And he would be like, they'd be like, oh, you're so hot, and he'd be like,
You're
sorry,
4 out of 10.
but yeah,
you fuck
not,
up my genetics.
Yeah, we're not, as we're not on par genetically. I just don't think I could do my children
I cannot
that
procreate with you.
disservice. Yeah,
You look fucking. You're.
and that back then that was crazy, and I was like insane.
That's the only I guess
that's
was
yeah,
somewhat
but I mean the
controversial, too.
rest of it was just like him. I mean, obviously everyone knows that one video of him with the what is it, the Life Fitness thing, or was it 24 Fitness? Something along those lines. Sure, he's in the sunglasses, then he opens the video.
And the speech, I feel like the speech will always be
Most
something
inspiring I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything else in bodybuilding that was nearly as iconic as that. Maybe like David Lade's transformation video is probably like.
And I feel like I feel like K Shami's transformation video, like you said, is that the Looks Maxing movement now. That was David Lade's transformation video. That means the exact same. That holds the exact same weight to the Looks Maxing community than, David Lade's.
Not to the Looks Maxing community.
K Shami's?
No, David Lade.
Oh no! I'm saying they
in the Looks Maxing community.
Videos.
K Shami's.
Yeah, he is. That is David. That is their David Lade. And I mean I don't know who's there's man, not Chico. I don't think Chico's theirs is, or Jordan or whatever the fuck. Someone of the two. I could argue,
You would have to look at K Shami as being their guy because those guys didn't really have a transformation.
Yeah, they were just already models from the jump.
Yeah, and they're models. It's not it's not really a Looks Maxing thing. It's not really an improvement thing. It's just more of a.
But when it was introduced that what models do for themselves, that the ordinary could do, then you just see a whole bunch of people just looking much better than they already started with, and that's just like
Jordan is kind of like standalone in that because even Chico and that other prevalent male model, he's in the Taylor Swift video, but I don't remember his name.
I'm blanking. Keep going. Just keep talking.
They were just like moisturized and moisturized. Jordan will like full on do like the spoon, like the fucking the icing. He is definitely more in tune. He loves those memes. He loves like, bro, I mogged you.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just going about it. Black pill things, red pill things, blue pill things. I don't even want to consider like. Even I don't really know. Isn't the blue pill is just like
blue pill is just like Democrat, soy boy. That's how it's viewed from the red. That's how it's viewed from the red. It's just like a very
just ordinary. Is it not?
Yeah. Just I mean, because you could have like an ordinary Republican, and I mean, you could say within the red pill community, if they're not like into any conspiracies or anything like that, then they might even still consider them blue pill. But I think the red pill and the blue pill does have more of a political element to it. Yeah.
And black pill is just like fuck.
Black pill is just internet.
So I mean, it all just depends on
deep web.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
How you see it, and just like Looks Maxing in general, how far you want to take it. There is one Looks Maxer that came back. I'm pretty sure, like even before K Shami was, not on the internet, but even before
he blew up.
Yeah, James Sapphire was one of them. That kind of took Looks Maxing a little too far.
Is he? Because I don't know if it's the same name or if it's like just like a nickname that he has. The David Gandy thing, it's the same guy? No,
I'm not too sure, but I just know that like he took that shit too far. His like, I mean, even to some degree, his face was already somewhat acceptable, but it's just when you see
I've never seen before and afters. I've just seen the memes of him like made into like an angel and shit, and it's just like. So far, I've seen clips of him just like as a normal guy, but I've never seen the before. I've just seen clips of him.
And when there's like
he's like, I haven't showered in a year and I still mog you.
Anyway, when there's like you got your features, you got like a great face, everything. I guess like another major part of that Looks Maxing thing is like your appeal, and I guess your personality does come into play with your like how
it looks nice in community maybe, but not in the black pill. In the black pill, it is totally
it's just
separated.
All looks and just taking it a pretty far amounts. But your appeal also goes hand in hand with your looks, your personality, everything. I mean, I'm sure at this point you all know that like looks does play a major role. But if you're a douchebag, if you're a shithead, if like your personality is absolutely
most
nothing.
women will avoid you like the plague, other
Yes.
than the ones that are like
that have no
going out in clubs and like they're doing it specifically to get laid. Like
Yeah.
you might get a one night stand, but nobody is gonna stand your personality for a long period of time or long enough to get into a relationship.
So it's not just, in reality, your looks should be a major part of it, but don't let that
If
take
for
over who you
nothing
are.
else, or mainly for nothing else, it should really be for self-confidence, because that's honestly the biggest difference it's going to make. Like there are so many examples, you know, especially that I see online every single day of guys that aren't, you know, conventionally attractive and they have super hot girlfriends and wives. I see people getting into like scandals, and you're like, that guy's cheating on his girl.
Exactly.
That's how his girl looks, and that's how he looks. It's like
And that's how he treats
it
you.
is really like, I would say, you know, personality is probably the biggest thing, and then behind that looks, and then like, well, maybe economics. Economics might be the number one thing, really.
But I mean, there
But
shouldn't
there's
be
a-
any delusion
Yeah.
to your looks either, because there's nothing more unattractive than somebody who is not attractive
Yeah.
but acts like they are.
Yeah.
That's something that could be very insufferable to most people, and I guess just like, yeah, you know, you gotta practice humility. You know, you can't go over the top. You have to have some degree of self-awareness to, if you are this,
I would say
this.
more than self-awareness. I would say more than humility. Self-awareness really is the biggest thing, because there are certain people like taking Arnold for example, who has just like he has a lot of bravado because he's so charismatic and because he's so well spoken. It works for him. But if you aren't actually like, yeah, you need to be extremely self-aware, because if you're not, and your jokes and your comments, whatever, you can come across as conceited when you don't even mean to be. You might just be trying to be funny and quirky and whatever,
And it just doesn't work
It
out.
doesn't work. So I would say even more than humility, self-awareness is really the biggest thing, because for some people that works and for some people it doesn't.
Or you could just be really funny, and
Yeah.
that'll just take you any and everywhere. You
Yeah.
could just be a funny person, and I guess be a comedic genius,
Okay.
and that'll get
I
you.
kind of want to wrap it up here, just
Yeah.
because
We got things to do. We got competitions to train for. You know, the one that is on September 1st that you guys really should come out to and watch me win.
link to his TikTok down below. I'm not gonna link the Instagrams because I feel like most people
Yeah.
are gonna come here from Instagram.
It's in the bio. Just click it.
But yeah,
And follow.
we'll try to film the next one relatively soon. I might have someone else on. I might have Chris on, but we will see. Thank you guys for being patient. Thank you for watching. If you're here this far, that means a lot. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.